Warning: this video contains content that may disturb you and challenge your perception of reality. Ensure you're in a safe space before you continue. Hello, and welcome to Horror Flix. I'm Charlie. Today we'll be exploring the lives of 5 incredible figures whose light was dimmed far too soon. These are the stories of Robin Williams, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, Amy Winehouse, Marilyn Monroe, and Queen Elizabeth II. Each one left a mark on the world, but behind their fame, there were struggles that most of us never saw. From battles with mental health and addiction to unexpected violence, we'll uncover the realities they faced and the legacies they left behind. Their stories aren't just about their deaths. They're about the lives they lived, the impact they had, and the lessons we can take from their journeys. So keep an open mind and step into their worlds, where fame, tragedy, and legacy intertwine in ways we might never expect. Robin Williams, the light lost to darkness. One of the world's funniest and most beloved figures, Robin Williams, brought laughter and light to millions. But behind that infectious smile was a deep, hidden darkness that no one could truly grasp. Robin Williams' career was nothing short of extraordinary. From his breakout role as the quirky alien in Mork and Mindy, to his unforgettable performances in Dead Poets Society and Mrs. Doubtfire, Williams was a master of transforming any character into someone you couldn't forget. His quick wit and unmatched energy brought endless laughter, whether through stand-up comedy or his legendary voice acting as the genie in Disney's Aladdin. But it wasn't just his comedic talent that made him so remarkable. Robin had a rare ability to make audiences feel deeply. In Good Will Hunting, where he played a therapist guiding a troubled young man, his quiet wisdom and vulnerability won him an Academy Award, proving he wasn't just a funny man. He was a deeply gifted actor with a profound connection to the human experience. His fans saw him as a figure of love, humor, and understanding. But what most didn't realize was that beneath that brilliance lay an immense personal struggle. Behind the scenes, Robin's life wasn't as perfect as it seemed. He had battled addiction early in his career, but had become sober in the 1980s, only for new demons to emerge in his later years. What made his case so tragic was that even Robin himself didn't fully understand what was happening to him. In 2014, just months before his death, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a blow that left him terrified. However, after his passing, an autopsy revealed the true culprit behind his deteriorating mental state: Lewy body dementia. This condition, which had gone undetected during his lifetime, is a devastating brain disorder that affects thinking, movement, and mood, often causing vivid hallucinations and extreme anxiety. For Robin, it was like living in a nightmare. Imagine the confusion and fear that must have consumed him as he struggled to maintain control over his own mind. He was a man whose entire career had been built on spontaneity, quick thinking, and emotional depth. Yet, day by day, he was losing the ability to be himself, and the sadness that came with that realization drove him deeper into depression. What made it even more tragic was that Robin had always been an advocate for mental health. He had spoken openly about his battles with addiction and depression in the past, urging others to seek help. But the torment he experienced in those final months was beyond anything he had ever faced before. On August 11, 2014, the world was hit with a piece of news that felt almost impossible to believe. Robin Williams, the man who had made millions laugh, had taken his own life. The shockwave was immediate and profound, as fans, friends, and colleagues struggled to reconcile the image of this joyful, larger-than-life figure with the devastating end he had met. In the days and weeks that followed, it became clear that his battle with Lewy body dementia had driven him to a place of deep despair. For many, Robin's death was a wake-up call, a reminder of how invisible mental health struggles can be, even in the most seemingly joyful people. His passing ignited conversations about depression and mental illness in a way that few celebrity deaths have ever done. Though Robin is no longer with us, his legacy lives on in ways that extend far beyond his films. In the wake of his death, there was a renewed focus on mental health awareness, particularly on conditions like Lewy body dementia, which remains less understood by the general public. His family and friends launched the Robin Williams Fund, dedicated to raising awareness about the disease that took his life and advocating for better research and understanding of mental health disorders. Through this advocacy, Robin's impact continues to be felt today. He has become a symbol of how important it is to talk about mental health, to recognize the signs of hidden struggles, and to ensure that no one feels like they have to suffer in silence. His films remain beloved, offering comfort and laughter to generations of fans. But it's his push for mental health awareness that may be his most enduring legacy. His story is a heartbreaking reminder that even the brightest stars can feel lost in the dark. Now, another story unfolds. Lisa Left Eye Lopes, whose unstoppable fire was tragically extinguished too soon. Lisa Nicole Lopes, widely known as Lisa Left Eye Lopes, was born on May 27, 1971, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As the eldest of 3 siblings, she was raised in a household influenced by her father's musical background and her mother's flair for fashion. This unique blend of influences laid the foundation for Lisa's multifaceted artistry. In her late teens, Lisa relocated to Atlanta, Georgia, where she met Tion T-Boz Watkins during a 1991 open audition. This encounter led to the formation of TLC, alongside Rosonda Chili Thomas. As the group's rapper, Lisa infused their music with a distinctive blend of hip-hop and R&B, contributing to chart-topping hits like Ain't Too Proud to Beg and No Scrubs. Her creative input extended beyond performance. She played a pivotal role in songwriting, co-writing many of the group's songs, including the iconic Waterfalls. Beyond her musical talents, Lisa was renowned for her fiery spirit and unorthodox approach to life. Her stage presence was magnetic, characterized by her spontaneous energy and distinctive fashion choices, which often set trends. This boldness extended to her personal life, where she was involved in several high-profile relationships, including her tumultuous partnership with NFL wide receiver Andre Rison. Besides her fame, Lisa remained deeply compassionate and committed to philanthropy. She viewed her success as a platform to effect positive change, particularly in underprivileged communities. One of her most notable endeavors was her work in Honduras, where she helped construct schools to provide education and hope to marginalized children. This initiative reflected her belief in the transformative power of education and her desire to give back to communities in need. On April 25, 2002, Lisa's life was tragically cut short during a trip to Honduras. While on a spiritual retreat, she was involved in a car accident. Reports indicate that Lisa was driving a rented vehicle when she swerved to avoid an oncoming car, resulting in the vehicle overturning. She was ejected from the vehicle and suffered a fatal skull fracture. The suddenness of her death sent shockwaves through the music industry and left fans worldwide in mourning. The circumstances surrounding the accident have been a subject of discussion and speculation. Some accounts suggest that Lisa was not wearing a seatbelt, which contributed to her being thrown from the vehicle. However, details remain limited, and the exact sequence of events leading to the crash has never been fully clarified. Lisa Left Eye Lopes' impact on music and culture is profound and enduring. As a core member of TLC, she helped redefine the role of women in hip-hop and R&B, blending raw talent with unapologetic authenticity. Her contributions to the group's success are immeasurable, with hits like Waterfalls and No Scrubs continuing to resonate with audiences. Beyond music, Lisa's commitment to philanthropy set her apart. Her efforts in Honduras were motivated by the owner of that retreat, Dr. Sebi, who dedicated his life to curing everyday people with all natural healing. Lisa was enamored and was set on telling the world about him. But unfortunately, fate had another plan. Lisa's untimely passing serves as a poignant reminder of the pressures faced by public figures and the importance of mental health awareness. Her story encourages us to look beyond the spotlight, recognizing the human experiences and challenges that accompany fame. As we say goodbye to Lisa Left Eye Lopes, we now shift to the haunting story, whose powerful voice was tragically silenced by addiction. Amy Winehouse wasn't just a singer. She was a voice that captured the soul of a generation. Her unmistakable, smoky vocals and raw lyrics brought a new depth to modern music. But as her star rose higher, the demons she fought behind the scenes became harder to hide. Today, we explore the brilliance, the battles, and the heartbreaking end of Amy Winehouse. A voice silenced far too soon, she exploded onto the music scene like no other. Her breakthrough album, Back to Black, didn't just introduce the world to her unparalleled talent, it redefined modern soul music. With her retro jazz sound, bold songwriting, and vulnerable lyrics, Amy brought a sense of authenticity to the industry that had been sorely missed. Back to Black was a global success, earning her 5 Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year and Best New Artist. Tracks like Rehab and You Know I'm No Good showcased Amy's ability to mix emotional honesty with timeless retro soundscapes. Her unique blend of jazz, blues, and soul, coupled with her distinctive voice, catapulted her into the stratosphere of music legends. Amy didn't just revive the retro jazz movement, she owned it. And yet, as the world marveled at her brilliance, Amy was quietly slipping further into a battle with addiction that would ultimately cost her everything. For all of Amy's talent and success, her personal life was a storm of chaos. From a young age, Amy struggled with mental health issues and substance abuse, often self-medicating to deal with the pressures of fame and personal turmoil. Her tumultuous relationship with Blake Fielder Civil, which often played out in public, only seemed to fuel her downward spiral. The couple's toxic dynamic was riddled with drug use, legal troubles, and volatile arguments that the tabloids eagerly fed on. As Amy's addiction deepened, the media latched onto her struggles with a ruthless intensity. Paparazzi followed her every move, documenting her erratic behavior and public intoxication, with a little regard for the fact that they were witnessing a woman in crisis. Instead of receiving the support and compassion she desperately needed, Amy became the target of brutal headlines and jokes, with the media exploiting her most vulnerable moments for profit. Her song Rehab, which on the surface seemed defiant and playful, was a reflection of the very real resistance she felt towards getting help. The line, "They tried to make me go to rehab, but I said no, no, no," became tragically iconic, as Amy's refusal to seek the treatment she needed mirrored the ongoing decline in her health. Behind the swagger and the bravado was a woman crying out for help in a world that was more interested in her downfall than her recovery. On July 23, 2011, the world woke up to devastating news. Amy Winehouse was dead at just 27 years old, the latest artist to join the infamous 27 Club, a group of talented musicians whose lives ended tragically at that age. The cause of death? Alcohol poisoning. Her death shocked fans worldwide, but for those who had followed her struggles, it felt painfully inevitable. The combination of fame, relentless media scrutiny, and addiction proved too much for Amy to bear. In the months leading up to her death, she had attempted to get sober, but the damage to her body had already been done. Her passing was not only a tragic loss to the music world, but also a stark reminder of the dangers of fame and the toll it can take on mental health and substance abuse. Amy's death was a sobering look at how society treats those in the spotlight. Despite her clear cries for help, Amy's struggles were often dismissed as reckless behavior. Her death highlighted the urgent need for better support and understanding of addiction and mental health issues, especially for those in the public eye. Although Amy's life was tragically short, her legacy endures in powerful ways. Musically, Amy Winehouse has influenced countless artists across genres. Her raw, unapologetic style continues to inspire modern soul, pop, and jazz musicians, with artists like Adele, Lady Gaga, and Lana Del Rey citing her as a key influence in their own work. Her unique sound, blending old-school jazz and contemporary R&B, created a new blueprint for artists who wanted to bring vulnerability and honesty to their music. But Amy's impact goes beyond her music. Following her death, her family set up the Amy Winehouse Foundation, dedicated to preventing the kind of tragedy that befell their daughter. The foundation focuses on helping young people struggling with addiction and substance abuse, offering education and support for those at risk. Through this work, Amy's legacy has become one of hope and recovery, ensuring that others might find the help that Amy never did. Amy Winehouse may no longer be with us, but her voice still echoes through speakers and headphones around the world. Real-life mystery: Marilyn Monroe. What really happened the night Marilyn Monroe died? A Hollywood icon, dead at just 36, surrounded by rumors of powerful lovers and shadowy conspiracies. Marilyn Monroe's tragic end is a mystery that has captivated the world for over 6 decades. Officially, her death was ruled as a probable suicide by drug overdose, but many believe her passing was far from accidental. As the Golden Girl of Hollywood, Marilyn's rise to stardom was meteoric. She was a household name, starring in hits like Some Like It, Hot, and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and her captivating beauty made her a global sensation. But behind her dazzling public persona lay a vulnerable woman, battling addiction, mental health struggles, and the immense pressures of fame. Yet, it's not just her life but the circumstances of her death that continue to raise questions. In 1962, Marilyn was found dead in her Los Angeles home, clutching a phone with an empty bottle of sleeping pills nearby. The world was shocked, and while the official report called it an overdose, many smelled a cover-up. The details of her last hours are still hazy, and the involvement of powerful figures such as President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert have fueled endless speculation. Marilyn's close relationships with the Kennedy brothers have led to one of the most enduring theories: that she was murdered to protect the political dynasty from scandal. One of the biggest red flags is the timeline of events on the night of her death. Her housekeeper, Eunice Murray, discovered Marilyn's body in the early hours but didn't immediately call the police. Instead, she contacted Monroe's psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, who arrived and declared her dead. The authorities weren't called for nearly an hour after she was found, a delay that has only deepened suspicions about what really happened during those missing minutes. Adding to the mystery, the autopsy report showed lethal amounts of barbiturates in her system, but no traces of the pills were found in her stomach. This puzzling detail has led some to believe that Monroe was injected with the drugs rather than ingesting them herself. Was this a carefully orchestrated murder disguised as an overdose? The most prominent theory revolves around Monroe's alleged red diary, a journal where she supposedly documented sensitive information, including details of her affairs with the Kennedys. Some speculate that Marilyn knew too much, not just about the Kennedys' private lives, but about national security matters as well. Was she silenced to protect powerful political figures from the fallout of a scandal? But the Kennedys aren't the only ones implicated in Monroe's death. Another theory suggests mob involvement, specifically Sam Giancana, a notorious mafia boss. The mob was rumored to have been deeply entwined with American politics, and Monroe's connections with high-ranking figures might have made her a pawn in their dangerous game. Could her death have been a message to the Kennedys, or an act of revenge from those who wanted to control the political landscape? Besides the numerous conspiracy theories, some believe Marilyn's death was simply a tragic culmination of her personal struggles. Monroe had long battled depression and anxiety, and her reliance on drugs to cope with the pressures of fame was well documented. Perhaps the official ruling wasn't a cover-up, but a heartbreaking reflection of the toll fame had taken on one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Even though her life ended in mystery, Marilyn Monroe's legacy remains larger than life. She transcended the silver screen to become a cultural icon, and her tragic death only added to her mystique. To this day, her story continues to spark fascination, with filmmakers, historians, and conspiracy theorists all attempting to unravel the truth behind her final moments. One thing is certain: Marilyn Monroe was more than just a starlet. She was a symbol of beauty, power, vulnerability, and tragedy. And while we may never know the full truth about what happened on that fateful night, her legacy endures, forever marked by the mystery of her untimely death. As we leave behind the enigma of Marilyn Monroe's mysterious death, we now enter a world of tradition and duty, where one woman's steadfast reign shaped a nation for. For over 7 decades, one woman stood as the unwavering symbol of British stability and grace, Queen Elizabeth II. From World War II to the rise of the digital age, she witnessed it all, adapting to the changing tides of history while maintaining the dignity of her role as monarch. But even a reign as long and storied as hers must come to an end. Today, we reflect on the final years, peaceful passing, and lasting legacy of the world's longest reigning queen. Queen Elizabeth II ascended to the throne in 1952, following the death of her father, King George VI. At just 25 years old, she inherited not only a crown, but also a world grappling with post-war recovery. Her reign began in a time of rationing and rebuilding, and over the next 7 decades, she would oversee monumental shifts in British society, politics, and global relations. Through every change, Elizabeth remained a constant presence, a symbol of stability and continuity for her people. From the decolonization of Africa and the Caribbean, to the troubles in Northern Ireland, from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the UK's exit from the European Union, Queen Elizabeth was a witness to history. Her composure and calm demeanour helped to steady the nation through times of crisis, making her more than just a figurehead. She was an anchor for the British identity. As the world evolved, so too did her monarchy, adapting to the demands of modernity while preserving its ancient traditions. Her 70-year reign set a new record, surpassing that of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. Elizabeth's steadfast commitment to duty and service endeared her to generations of people, both in Britain and across the globe. Even in the face of personal challenges and family scandals, she remained resilient, ensuring that the Crown's legacy would endure. In her final years, Queen Elizabeth's health began to decline, a fact that became more evident with her increasingly rare public appearances. The death of her beloved husband, Prince Philip, in 2021, marked a particularly difficult chapter. The two had been married for over 70 years, and Philip had always been her strength and stay, as she once described him. His passing left a noticeable void, not only in her personal life, but also in her public role as monarch. During the COVID-19 pandemic, like so many others around the world, Queen Elizabeth faced isolation. Buckingham Palace was largely closed to the public, and her once busy schedule of engagements slowed to a trickle. Yet, even as her physical presence became more limited, her symbolic presence remained powerful. In 2020, she addressed the nation in a rare televised speech, offering words of hope and unity as the UK grappled with the pandemic's devastating effects. In the last months of her life, the Queen continued to perform her constitutional duties, albeit at a reduced pace. Despite her declining health, she remained dedicated to her role, even meeting with new Prime Minister Liz Truss just 2 days before her passing. It was a testament to her unwavering sense of duty, right until the very end. On September 8, 2022, Queen Elizabeth II passed away peacefully at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. She was 96 years old. Her death marked the end of an era defined by grace, resilience, and a profound sense of duty to her people. The news of her passing sent shockwaves across the globe, with tributes pouring in from world leaders, celebrities, and ordinary citizens alike. In Britain, the country went into a period of national mourning, with countless citizens flocking to Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle to pay their respects. Flags were flown at half-mast, and a sense of collective grief washed over the nation. The Queen had been a fixture in the lives of so many people, a steady hand guiding the nation through both triumphs and tragedies. Her passing was not just the death of a monarch, but the closing of a chapter in British history. Queen Elizabeth's legacy is immeasurable. She left an indelible mark on British identity, embodying the values of duty, service, and quiet strength. She was more than just a queen. She was a cultural icon, a link to the past in a rapidly changing world. Her ability to adapt the monarchy to the modern age while preserving its core traditions helped ensure its survival in the 21st century. One of her most enduring contributions is the way she modernized the British monarchy. Under her reign, the royal family became more accessible to the public, with televised Christmas broadcasts, public engagements, and even a presence on social media. She opened the doors of Buckingham Palace to the world, bridging the gap between the royals and their subjects in a way that no monarch had done before. Her passing also marked the beginning of a new chapter for the British monarchy. The transition to her son, King Charles III, represents both continuity and change. Charles, has spent his entire life preparing for this role. And while he will undoubtedly bring his own style of leadership, he inherits a monarchy strengthened by his mother's legacy. The world will now watch as he steps into his role, carrying forward the weight of a crown shaped by one of the most remarkable monarchs in history. Lessons from loss. Looking at the lives of Robin Williams, Amy Winehouse, Marilyn Monroe, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, and Queen Elizabeth II, a common thread becomes clear: the immense pressure of fame, the constant media spotlight, and in some cases, the conspiracy theories surrounding their deaths. While Queen Elizabeth lived a long, peaceful life, the others faced tragic and preventable endings, reminding us how different their stories were, yet how deeply connected they are by the weight of their fame. Let's remember them for who they were, not just how they left us. They gave the world so much and left a lasting mark. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Join us in reflecting on their most heartbreaking moments. And don't forget to subscribe for more tragic stories that shaped history.